The Supreme Court of the United States, aka SCOTUS, just delivered a little Halloween candy to the Kamala Harris camp in regards to a monster decision in 2 swing states coming up in this breaking story. And then at the same time, you could actually say, which is rare for the Supreme Court these days, they gave some candy to Donald Trump too, but it was just some of that old school stuff with apples that had razor blades in it. I'm going to tell you about that breaking story in just a couple of seconds. But as it has been touted over and over again, RFK Jr.'s presence on the ballot and in this presidential candidate race, his presence being removed in certain ways can be extraordinarily helpful. Take a listen.
There are people of various political views watching tonight, and I want you to know I promise to be a president for all Americans. You can always trust me to put country above party and self.
Even more change today. That's if independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. drops out as expected. Joining me now is the most accurate predictor of presidential elections, Dr. Alan Lichtman, a distinguished professor of history at American University. His 13 keys to the White House has given him an incredible track record on these races. Thank you so much for joining us. I've been looking forward to this interview.
I'm happy to join you.
Your formula.
RFK Jr.
Yes,
dropping
please.
out, is a very good sign for the party in power. One of my negative keys against the White House party is a significant third-party campaign, because that's always a sign of discontent with governing. And the basis of my keys to the White House is that it's governing, not campaigning, that counts. You see right there, key number 4, third party. The disappearing RFK campaign then wipes out a possible negative key against the incumbent party. I'm not ready to make a prediction yet, but it's a positive development.
Thank goodness the Supreme Court finally did something that didn't leave us in some sort of reliving 2000 and hanging chads with Bush Gore. Because this breaking story that I'm telling you about right now is an absolute key to what the SCOTUS did against RFK Jr.'s desire to get removed from the ballot in Wisconsin and Michigan. Supreme Court rejects RFK Jr. plea to be removed from ballot in 2 swing states. Supreme Court on Tuesday rejected a long-shot bid by Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who entered his independent presidential campaign seeking his removal from the ballot in the key swing states of Wisconsin and Michigan. Kennedy endorsed Trump and is seeking to have his name dropped from the ballots in states where it could be a boost to his new ally. The court did not explain its reasoning. Justice Neil Gorsuch said he would have granted Kennedy's application in the Michigan case. Voting is already underway in both states, so it never seemed likely the Supreme Court would grant Kennedy's request. In Wisconsin, more than 850,000 absentee ballots have been returned, while in Michigan, more than 1.5 million have been returned. And in the latter state, more than 250,000 people have voted in person. I know that in so many ways, it seems obvious that that's a legal decision they would have to arrive at, regardless of anything. But come on, we've seen enough with Jack Smith and immunity and everything else. You can't even trust the gerrymandered Supreme Court anymore. So thank goodness they made this decision in the right way to keep us all from going through all sorts of legal stuff before we even get to the election 7 days from now. Go out, vote Harris Walls, and do what Obama said. Don't boo, vote.